Ho, ho, ho! Today's video is part of the 25 Days of Christmas Cards series, which is a collaboration by Courtney Kreeber. So Courtney and I decided that we are going to use Copic coloring for our cards. So the idea is that we both make a card, and as I said, I'm going to be using my Copics here, and I have quite a few, but I still need a few more to fill in the gaps, and because, full size syndrome is a thing. Now, I'm going to be using this die cut set from Fawn called String of Lights. And I have a previously colored one of these, just to kind of give you the idea of what I am going to want to get. So you might be a bit confused by the fact that there is not a single stamp set actually used for this card, just a lot of die cuts which are colored. So you might think, oh God, you're a crazy woman, it's a card. But just you wait, I promise it will be worth it. So here we are going to be coloring our blue bauble. And first I'm going around the edges, like really saturating the edges with B99. And then we're going to blend out those edges and go a little bit further in with B97. I would use B95 if it wasn't dry as a desert, basically. So I'm having to kind of go in with the B93 and then B91 very gently and carefully to kind of get that blend that I want. And so basically I want it dark around the edges and then really kind of light in the middle to create that sort of lit up from inside look, I guess, like glowy look. So the key to this is to be patient and just blend and go back in and forth. And also this looks a little bit sort of, this doesn't look overly good, but sometimes you have to wait and let the ink dry because the paper is very, very saturated. So now we're gonna be doing a turquoise one, and we're just gonna do the same thing. So we're gonna go around the edges with a dark one, and then we're gonna go in further and further in with lighter colors. And so this is another big one, and then we're going to do a little one too, just to, see how that goes. You might find that with the smaller ones that you have to use not quite as many as you do on the big ones. But again, this doesn't look super great right now, but they do have to kind of dry, and you need to let the ink sort of settle down a little bit. So we are also going to be adding the top bits, the screw bit. And I had a little play here, but I wasn't overly happy with how that turned out. So I tried something else, and I'm actually going to be coloring directly onto the die cuts instead of having like those little extra bits. So we're going to just zoom in here a little bit. And then what I realized after trying and cussing a little bit and playing around and trying to blend was that the key was basically to not blend too much. So I've gone in with the C5, which is quite dark, and then I've used a C4 to just gently kind of draw a few lines. And this, you're using a very light hand with a C4, whereas with a C5 you can go in a little bit heavy-handed, and you kind of get that sort of, I don't want to say screw because that sounds really, really wrong, but the sort of screw top that goes into like the bulb thing. Gosh, I don't know what I'm saying now, but anyway, basically the idea is to kind of have darker edges to create that illusion of it being rounded. And then because I colored a whole ton of baubles, we also are gonna have, well, I say have to, we also gonna add like the little light shine highlight onto the card, or the baubles there. And then for my actual card base, my idea was to kind of create a Christmas tree look. So I've been using the Take About Encore bits. This is from Concord in 9th. And I have just cut out loads and loads of bits from Evergreen cardstock. And then I layered these up I cut a few, and I've used almost all of the sizes, from not quite the smallest one, but a lot of them. And then on another piece of Evergreen cardstock, I have used the Picket Fan Studios Slimline die cutting system, and I've cut out the smallest of the 2 rectangles, and then I've just slapped on, like proper slapped on Pritt stick glue. And then because I picked up all the pieces with the press and seal, all I had to do was turn that over and then press quite hard to kind of make sure that the pieces stuck. And then in the middle, we are going to go in with a lot of the big bows. Oh, it's bows? Yeah. To kind of cover up that hole in the middle. And because I wanted quite a lush, full Christmas tree look. And then we're puzzling around here to kind of see where are all these baubles going to go. And, you know, we also need some string, of course. So I've cut out a few extra pieces of string. And these are all going to be kind of added on. And then we're gonna just trim off the excess pieces there. And with all that done, we're going to be using a little bit of glossy accent to glue down the bauble on top of the string. And the reason I'm using glossy accent is because I'm literally out of all the rest of my liquid adhesive. I am, full out, but I have new or more glue tubes on the way, so literally they cannot get here fast enough. But what I'm doing is I'm only adding the glossy accent to the top, sort of where the screw part is, and then just a teeny tiny bit at the top of the bauble, because I really want kind of I don't want it to stick too flat down onto the card. I want it to be sort of really full of life and kind of like really textured and dimensional, much like a Christmas tree itself. And then with all these strings and baubles and everything, you know, sort of trimmed onto the card, stuck onto the card, and all the excess pieces cut off, we are almost finished with this card. But yeah, this is a very short video. However, this did take me quite a while to do. And then that whole thing is going to be added onto a white card base. And with that, because I kind of thought this was very, very obvious what the occasion is for, I have not added a sentiment onto this. So the sentiment will go inside, but this is not a card to send in the mail. No siree, no ma'am. This is something to give to someone who is very special and will cherish it, maybe put it in a scrapbook. But with that, I'm all done for today, and don't forget to check out Courtney's video that will be linked at the top of the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon again.